Okay, good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
Okay. So we'll start with today CDP and LLDP first. So what is a CDP? CDP is Cisco Discovery Protocol. So as the name only suggests that it is going to be Cisco proprietary. So it is a Cisco feature that is used to get the information regarding neighboring devices. So it is used to get the information regarding what? Neighboring devices. And in this case, that when we will be checking the neighboring devices, so it gives IP address of the neighboring devices. Now to run this CDP, we give command CDP run. To check, we write here show CDP neighbor detail. Then we have as a link LLDP, that is called as a link layer discovery protocol. It is open standard. And it gives MAC address of the neighboring devices. And here in this case, we give command as LLDP run, then show LLDP neighbor detail. Now what will happen that by default, whenever we will be using Cisco devices, so in that case, CDP will be running, but for LLDP, we have to give this command LLDP run. Then only it will show you the information. So we can say that it is both this protocol are used to check the neighboring devices, what all the neighboring devices has been connected, and what is their information like IP addresses or the MAC address information. When you will check using the link layer discovery protocol, it will show you the MAC address, but it will be written as a chassis ID.
You want to find the protocol that we need for the new video.
Like
From one router to another router.
What type of protocol? See, that depends upon the protocol. Like for example, if you will be using, for example, OSPF, then in that case, all the neighborship has been formed using OSPF. So it depends upon that protocols. These are used to give you the information regarding the just neighboring devices. Just I will show you what the commands, what are the features is visible here.
It's a neighbor, right, Vishal? NEIGHBR.
Right.
Not you.
Okay. Now we'll take here two router and we'll take here two switches. On the router, we'll give one IP. Give no. Enable config space T, and host name will be router 1. Then interface is G0/0. IP address is, let's say, 10.0.0.1/8. So 255.0.0.0, and give it here no option. Give exit. Then come to this second router. Enable config space T, and host name is going to be router 2. Interface number is same, 0/0. IP address is 10.0.0.2 and 255.0.0.0. Give your no shut and give exit. Come to the switch first. Enable config space T. Host name is going to be S1. And on switch 2, enable config space T, and host name is S2. Now, when you will come to this router 1, give exit to CDP. So it says here that you have to write here what command? So CDP never. Then give question mark. What is telling you? Detail. You can also check with the source CDP neighbor, but it will not give you the detailed information. Right? What are the information we have? With what port the device has been connected? Then what is that device series? Now it is a switch. Then till how much time it has got it. It is getting the information. And this is the interface through which it has been connected. When you will add here one more point, that is detail. So it gives you that I'm on the router, so I'm checking for the switches. So it is going to give you the information regarding that switch, right? Then entry device ID is what? S1. And we have not configured any IP address. That's why it is not showing you any IP. Same as if you will check it from the switch. If exit. So CDP neighbor detail. So it is telling you that it has been connected with a router 1, that is a device ID. And the IP address that we have configured there is 10.0.0.1. Okay. Then it will also show you that it has been also connected with what? One more device. But that is switch 2. But we have not configured any IP over there. That's why it is not showing anything. Right now, see device ID S2, and we don't have any address. Right? So in this case, what is happening? Whenever we are checking, always it shows only the IP addresses information. Same as we can check it from this device as well. Show CDP neighbor detail. And here also it shows you that it has been connected with what? Switch 1, and then one router that is called as the device ID is R2. And this is the address that we have provided. 10.0.0.2. Correct? No? Now, in this case, what will happen that it is not going to show you any other information like MAC address information. So if you check, so LLDP neighbor detail, what it says, LLDP is not enabled. It means that by default, LLDP will not be enabled. We need to enable that. Now for that, what command we have to give? LLDP run. And we have to give this command on all the devices. So for that, configure space T, give LLDP run. Then come to the switch. LLDP run. And come to the switch. Config space T, LLDP run. Come to router. LLDP run. Now what will happen? On all the devices, this LLDP will be running. Now check on the switch only. Give exit. and show LLDP, neighbor, and detail. And here it shows you about the devices. What it shows? Chassis ID, right? So what is the chassis ID? The MAC address. Here also it is showing you the MAC address. So with one interface, we have 0/0. System name is R1. And with other interface, we have F0/1. System is S2. So S2 is having this MAC address and R1 is having this MAC address. Same thing, we'll get it on the router as well. To exit and show LLDP, neighbor, detail. What it shows that with F0/1, one interface, one device has been connected. System name is S1, and it is going to have this as a chassis ID, that is what is the MAC address. Clear? So we have used both the methods. One is LLDP and one is CDP. So they both use for what? For discovery the neighbor, to know about the neighboring neighbor details. So one will give you the IP address information, as we have seen in the case of CDP, it was giving the IP address information, whereas LLDP will give you what? MAC address information.
So this layer 3, this layer.
One is operating on layer 3, one is operating on layer 2. Clear, no? Okay. Now we'll discuss about the wireless. So what happens in the wireless, that wireless principles is based on what? Radio frequencies. So in the wireless medium, how the transmissions of the signal will take place with the help of radio frequencies. So radio frequencies refers to the radio waves over which the wireless communications occur. So like a Wi-Fi that is going to use radio frequency signals only to transmit the data through what? Through the air. Now, what it says that radio frequencies is a key of troubleshooting the wireless network. Now, in this, it is going to have multiple things that is going to affect the transmissions of the signal. What are the things that is going to affect the transmissions of the signal in the case of wireless principles? These are, like we have is a reflection. Then we have is a refraction.
So diffraction.
Then we have is a diffraction. Apart from that, scattering. Any other thing? One is what? Reflection. Like what it is? Bouncing back of the signals. Like this, all things you can discuss with the help of light also, light concept. This is all the physics concept, right? So these are the things that is going to affect the transmissions of the signals. Correct? So even we can have absorption as well. Let's say you have any solid wall. So with that, what happens that sometime the strength of the signal may be reduced. So these are the different things that can affect the transmission of the signals. One is materials as well, that range also, how far the system is located. And these are the interferences that can cause the interferences. Fine. So this wireless principles, like whenever we are going to use, let's say we are using a Wi-Fi connectivity. So whenever you are going to connect to a Wi-Fi using a wireless medium, through which what you connect, what you know about that? SSID. And what is this SSID? Service set identifier. This is the name of the device, right? Through which we are going to connect. So SSID is the name of a wireless network So when you are connecting to a Wi-Fi, the name you see is the SSID. That is called as a service set identifier. Now it is broadcasted by what? Access point, so that devices can discover and connect to them. Now, in general scenario, what happens that SSID is visible for us and password is there and we need to provide the password for getting connected to that particular device. Even in any case, what will happen that SSID can also be hidden for the security reason that require two level of authentication. One is to knowing the SSID and one is even to know the passwords, right? So whenever like we are going to understand here wireless principles according to the concept of Wi-Fi. Here, this one. Never spelling is correct. No? It's correct.
No, BORS, not you.
Where telling?
Show CDP neighbor.
Here,
BORS. Yeah.
RS, neighbors detail.
You should not dare.
Okay, see. One is British English and one is American English. Okay, both are correct.
But
Okay.
I was like following the command what you gave on CL.
No problem. But just you write, even if you write NR and use tab button, that will be fine. Okay. So one is going to be British, one is American. So in British, we are discussing that this will be BOUR. Whereas in the case of American, it is going to show you BOR, right? So like, have you heard that color? Both are correct, right? This one is US, this one is British. As we were ruled under British for 200 years, that's where we are more focused on this. But now we are starting using US products. That's why we have to depend on this. So we are in the middle now.
I'm loyal person.
Huh?
I'm loyal. I am
Loyal.
not following English.
So I think we need to discover our own versions as well now. Correct? Indian versions.
No,
So
thank you,
Sanskrit.
please. Already English is so confusing language.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
come
right,
with
right.
third thing.
It happens.
Especially in US, you will get crazy. Here they don't pronounce J as a J. They
That's
San
why
Jose.
we have S and Z
They
everywhere.
don't say Jose. Here say Jose. So her, they make it sound of her for J.
Mm, right.
Sir,
Mm,
sir, then what is the main purpose of SSID to identify the connected to wireless network?
right. See, even if you are going to connect to any Wi-Fi, the name you see, that is called as a SSID only,
Okay, okay, okay.
service set identifier. Okay. So now what we are doing here, that we will be understanding all these wireless principles with compared to Wi-Fi. Okay. Now you know what is the full form of Wi-Fi? Wireless fidelity. Okay. Now what happens though? The wireless principles works on a different channels. So Wi-Fi operates like, have you heard radio frequencies? When you try to visit any radio, so when you use radio, you have different channels though, like 98.3 FM, then 1 FM, like that. The same here also we have certain channels. So Wi-Fi operates on a 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz frequencies channels divided into different channels. These are what? These are the frequencies and it has been divided into different channels. So one we have is a 2.4 gigahertz and it is going to have how many channels? 14 channels. So among that channels, 14 channels, 1, 6 and 11 is called as a non-overlapping channels and do not cause interferences, right? So what will happen that let's say you have a very large building where so many users are there who is going to have this Wi-Fi connectivity. Now, if they are going to use a 2.4 gigahertz radio frequency, for that they need to use either 1, 6, 11 as a channel for non-interferences. Other channels are going to provide you what? Interferences, right? Then same as we have one more that is called as a 5 gigahertz. But in this case, it is going to offer more non-overlapping channels compared to what we had in the 2.4. In the 2.4, we had only 14 channels, whereas in the 5 gigahertz, we will be having more numbers of channels, and that too also more numbers of non-overlapping channels compared to what we had in the 2.4, only 1, 6, and 11. So reducing the interferences and improving the performances. But most of the devices you will find now also that they will be using here 2.4 only compared to the 5. The reason, because 2.4 provides you long distance transmissions of the signal. What it provides? Long distance transmissions, whereas 5 gigahertz is for what? Short distance. The transmitting of the signals will be very short in the case of 5 gigahertz. So now it depends upon the what Wi-Fi or what Wi-Fi we are going to use, means based on the evaluations. So if I will so here I'm using directly with cables only, that's why it is not showing you. If I will do and if I will connect to this Wi-Fi, like there will be certain connection lost. But I wanted to show you. Okay, just 1 minute. Let me pause the recording first.